Hey there, Bryson with Dimes for Dollars here, and today we have a big junk silver hunting album fill. Lots of old silver this time. We got some stuff from one coin store, and we got some really old stuff from another. Bunch of barbers, and even a seated quarter and a dime. Lots of cool stuff. Got some old stuff that we've already had, and we're starting these books. We got 3 barber books, and we're continuing on this piece dollar book. Hopefully we can get some spots filled. But I'll split all this stuff up, sort it out by type and denomination, and I'll bring you back in once we get it all sorted. Alright, we're back with the first bag, and we got a few silver coins. We got a 1944 Denver. Unfortunately not better condition than the one we already have. We got 2 dateless SLQs. And what really surprised me is we got an 1877 seated Liberty quarter. It's in pretty rough shape. Unfortunately, we won't see the mint mark, but that's still pretty neat. We got 2 walking Liberties. Unfortunately, neither are better than the ones we have. We got a 1946 Philadelphia, and we got a 1918, also out of Philadelphia. We also got 4 piece dollars that we'll get to in a minute. And we got 6 foreign coins. Actually only 3 are foreign. They were in the foreign bin, but we actually have a really destroyed 1864 Indian head cent. And we have a transit token. And we have a dateless V-nickel in about the worst shape I've ever seen. But we can look at it under the scope and see if there's a date. But before we do that, let's look at these other 3 coins. We got a Philippines coin, and I just really like the look of this. It's a really interesting design. 1984. Looks to be Philippines 5 centavos, I believe. Pretty neat. We also got a also pretty squished old Canadian coin from the looks of it. Also pretty neat. And we got a French coin from 1918 that looked really cool. 10 centimes, I believe. Alright, so let's look at this under the scope and see if we can find a date. Alright, well here's our V-nickel, and as you can see there's a 1, there's an 8, there's an 8, and then there's the questionable number right here. And it could either be a 5 or a 7 from the looks of it. You can kind of see it's going out over there. Really tough to see, but I have a reference over here on PCGS. Now with the 1887, we're looking for the flaring on the edge of the 7 there on both sides. Whereas the 1885, it's just straight like that. So let's look back at this coin now. See if we can make anything out. And from what I've seen, it really does look like it flares up right at the end there. So I'm gonna guess this is an 1887. Don't really feel like nickadating it this time, but I'm gonna just put it in the 1887 slot. To me it looks pretty clear that it is a 7 and not a 5. Unfortunately, the 1885 is worth a lot more. But either way, 25 cents for this, it's not too bad. Let's put it back on the board and we'll get back to the hunt. We got 4 new additions for the piece dollars. We got a 1923 S right here. And I think it's going to upgrade this one. I really like the toning on it. So I'm going to swap those 2 out. We also got a 1924 Philadelphia in pretty nice shape. Definitely take that. On this page, we have a 1928 S in really nice shape. And we also got a 1934 S. So we'll add these guys in where they belong, and we'll get back to the hunt. Up next, we got this bag of coins with a bunch of barbers and some seated quarters and dimes. So let's dump this out and see what we got. Alright, well here's the layout for the second bag. We got a bunch of barber halves, a lot of barber quarters. We got an 1877 seated quarter, and the mint mark is questionable. We'll check that out under the scope. I thought I saw something there. It's in pretty rough shape though. We'll check that out later though. We also got a bunch of Barber dimes and even a seated dime with a pretty clear date, 1883. Well, if it'll show up. There we go. 1883. Pretty nice. We got dimes first. We'll spread them all out and see our mint marks and dates. Alright, we're back with the dimes now. We got a bunch of new additions. We got an 1892. We got an 1897. 1898. And 1899. On page number 2, we got a bunch of new finds. 1902 Philadelphia. 92 New Orleans. 1903. 1905 S and 1905 Philadelphia. We also got a 1906 San Francisco and a really nice 1907 Denver. This 1907 Denver actually has Liberty in the cap. It's all still there. That's an awesome coin. And on the back side, it's just as nice. Now as for page 3, we got a 1908 Denver and San Francisco. The San Francisco is a better date. We got a 1910 San Francisco and a 1911. We also got a 1912 and a better 1912 Denver. We got a 1914 Philadelphia in better shape, 1914 Denver, 1915 Philadelphia, 16 Philadelphia, and a 1916 San Francisco. Quite a bit of new finds. Definitely a good sight to see. We'll finish this book up, close it off, and we'll get on to the next one. Alright, we're back with the Barber quarters now. We got an 1892 Philadelphia, 1893 New Orleans. We also got a 1897 Philadelphia and an 1898 Philadelphia. We also got a 1899, 1901 Philadelphia, 1902 Philadelphia and New Orleans. We also got a 1908 Denver, a 1909 Denver, and actually a 1909 New Orleans. It's under $1 million minted. In fact, this 1909 New Orleans only has 712,000 minted. You can see it right there. In G4, it's a $55 coin. It's awesome. I got it for $7. Definitely worth it in my opinion. We got a 1910 Philadelphia. Let's look at the reverse of this 1909 New Orleans. You can just barely see it. There's a New Orleans mint mark. Now to finish off the book, we got a 1911 S, 1914 Philadelphia, and that one's in pretty nice shape. We got a 1914 Denver and a 1916 Denver. And here's the back of that 1914 Philadelphia. Now that we've done the quarters, let's move on to the halves. Well, before we get into the halves, let's actually check out this 1877 seated quarter. There might be a mint mark. Alright, we're now back with the seated quarter in question. We're on the reverse side. We're looking right here where the mint mark would be. To me, it looks like a Carson City mint mark. I could be seeing things, but you can see right there, it looks like a CC. Now if I move it in the light a little bit, you can see it's raised. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. I've got an example over here on PCGS again. And let's see if we can see. That's what the Carson City mint mark looks like. And that's what we got. It definitely lines up right from where the mint mark should be, but it could just be wishful thinking. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of it. I'll be glad to hear from you, and we'll get on with the... Well, last but not least, we have our Barber half dollars. 9 out of the 10 coins that we had went in the book. We got an 1899 Philadelphia right there. We also got a 1900S, 1900 Philadelphia. Oh, and a 1902 Philadelphia as well. We also got a 1906 1907 Philadelphia. We got a 1908 Denver, 1909 O, which is actually a better date, under 1 million minted. And our last edition is a 1912 Philadelphia. Well, that's going to do it for this hunt. We got lots of new additions to these books. Hopefully someday we'll get them finished, but it's always fun to just add one at a time and see where it takes you. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next silver stacking video. Thanks for watching.